Matt from Ace Appliance in Toledo, Ohio. Welcome back to another in-home diagnostic video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com. Hi, what we have here is a Frigidaire top freezer. Customer's complaint is that the refrigerator section isn't cooling properly. So first thing we do is we open it up. We've got the food out here. Notice all the frost along the back wall of the freezer. It's going to be an indication that there's something going on with the defrost system. So what we're going to do is get back behind this panel here and figure out which components are bad. So we'll go ahead and remove the shelving. Okay, the tools that are needed to complete this repair: a volt ohm meter, a 1/4 inch nut driver or a drill with a 1/4 inch bit, wire strippers, and 2 wire nuts. I'm going to go ahead and take the 2 1/4 inch screws out of the ice maker. And remove the little quick disconnect there. Okay, now on this wall bracket here, just need to loosen the screws. Now it's kind of iced up, so we're going to have to take them all the way off. Same thing on this side. Okay, we have 3 screws that are holding the back panel on. Actually 5 total. I'm going to take the light cover off there. Okay, now at this point we're going to go ahead and unplug the unit. Now we're just going to go ahead and grab the panel here and okay, well, the back panel is kind of too iced up to be able to pull it out, but what we did was we got to the defrost termination, which there's this little piece of styrofoam right here that you have to remove. And this is where your wiring is kind of tucked inside. And then you had both these wires were connected to the thermostat here. What we did was we just ohmed out the thermostat. It was still covered in basically a block of ice. This thermostat closes at 47 degrees. Or let's see. No, closes at 22 degrees and opens at 47 degrees. And we had no continuity through the defrost thermostat. So what we're going to do here is the other 2 wires that are coming in, we're trying to find where the defrost heater is at, and we're going to just ohm through the heater circuit, make sure that the heater itself is still good. So I'm assuming we got 1 wire right here that's going to go to the heater. And there's 1 over on the other side that I'm going to get access to so we can check the heater and make sure that that's still intact. So inside this area right here was where this connector went to the other side of the heater. So we took this, removed this, and we exposed the other terminal to the heater. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and stick our meter in. They're thick black wires is what they are. For the heater, I'm going to set the meter to the ohm setting. We got it in on one side there. Check the other black wire that's over here, and we're reading 26 ohms, which means that the heater itself is going to be good. All right, so we're just going to reconnect the wire to the heater that we just disconnected here. And we're going to tuck that back up into the space where it's going to, a little styrofoam housing here. And what we're going to need to do is replace the defrost termination. And these are your two wires for your light switch. Make sure you hook those, or the light bulb, we'll make sure we hook those back up. But we're going to leave those off for now since we have to peel the panel down to get to the termination here. What we're going to put in here is a 50-degree termination. You can go, they say plus or minus 10 degrees. You know, I like to try to keep it within 5 degrees. So this is only 3 degrees off. You're not going to notice any kind of a difference in the cooling. Go ahead and basically just going to be cutting the wiring down there. And we'll leave the factory connections there. So we'll go ahead and cut the termination at the base. Strip them down about 1/2 inch. We got our new termination. So we're just going to wire nut our connectors here. Doesn't make a difference which wire goes to what. You're just completing a circuit. We got one there. Okay. So it's going to look like that. We're going to go ahead and electrical tape around the wire nuts. And then we're just going to mount it back into place. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to put an SL249 clip on instead of the old clip that holds it there. Just because it's so iced up, you got to get this around the actual evaporator line and clip it together like that. To where the SL249, you got your top mounting hole, just like that. And you just slide it on and pinch it right on the evaporator line. Just makes it a little bit easier to get into if you're working in a tight space. Okay, so we've got our termination mounted up in there. And we're just going to go ahead and reconnect our wiring here. Like so. And we're going to tuck all the excess wiring right in here. Just like that. Get it back in there. Put our styrofoam cap back on there. And we've got our harness for the ice maker. Slide through the hole here. Okay, we're going to reconnect our wiring to the light switch. And this is all kind of done by feel at this point. Alright, well now that we've got our ice maker connector plugged back in and our wiring harness for the light, I'm going to go ahead and push this back panel back up here. Alright, we just have this little cap here that fell off. Pop that back on. We're going to go ahead and put our tracks back on here. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and put the ice maker in. Take this piece here, fish it all the way up the line, just sort of snap it into place, and we're going to reconnect the ice maker. Put our 2 1/4-inch screws in, just hand tight, so we can kind of get it to hang on them. And drop it right down like that. Okay, and then we're going to put our light cover back on. Alright, and then we'll just put our shelves back in. What we're going to do is have the customer unplug this for 24 hours to let the block of ice that's back there completely thaw out since we can't remove the back panel. And basically at this point in time tomorrow, with the doors open, just gonna plug it back in and it should function properly. Thank you for watching another quality video from ApplianceVideo.com.